Hello everybody, my name is Raven, and you're probably wondering what's up with the blindfold. Well, I'm not feeling well today, and I have a head-splitting migraine, and I have to turn the lights on really bright in order to get the best lighting for these videos. So rather than having my head explode, I decided that I was going to go in blind. This actually worked out for me, not because I like suffering, I really hate it, but I have had anxiety all week thus far, wondering what Bible verse I was going to talk about. This being because I don't have a favorite verse. I'm probably not as familiar with the Bible as some of the rest of you are. I've actually not started reading it until I started classes here. Such being the case, finding what would be interesting or inspiring to talk about in lieu of favorite was rather difficult. Sorry to sound a bit cliche, but the answer came to me in a dream. While I slept, I felt a great deal of anxiety, really weird dreams. I probably had a fever, I don't know. But I woke up unable to get rid of this headache that had started yesterday. And then a verse came into my head that pounded ever so painfully. The Bible verse in question is Matthew 25:36. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. This may seem to have absolutely nothing to do with what's going on with me at the moment. Then I began to think about the compassion Christians should feel for those who are undesirable, be they unfortunate, be they handicapped or ill in any way, be they poor, and be they in a state of being that is contrary to one's personal beliefs. Jesus, after all, kept company with thieves and prostitutes, not the most holy people, yet were still desirable to Jesus. It became apparent to me through my suffering that this was a sign to show not necessarily compassion on my part, but understanding, and to experience something outside of my experience. So, that being the case, rather than really hope all these medications kick in really soon before Sunday, I decided to push forth with this suffering and experience this blindness, to put myself outside of my experience and trust that with patience, perseverance, and faith, I don't look absolutely ridiculous with my head cut off in this video. There's actually a whole lot more profound there, but I like humor, so take that for what it's worth. A lot of Christians today like to judge others because they are not like them. They fail to put themselves into the perspective of those that they wish to persecute, and to bow to this superstition that anything bad in life is the fault of the devil, and that is therefore a punishment, and not a God-given lesson of some sort. But then again, sometimes we cherry pick to make ourselves feel better. if a child is born deformed or with a mental disability or learning disability, we still see this child as a gift from God to teach us patience, understanding, acceptance, tolerance, and that all children are a gift from God and God makes no mistakes. Therefore, we are not in a position to judge because we do not know what it is like to be in that position. We do not know how hard it is for someone else. And our lack of understanding for what it's like to be in this position is arrogance and pride. However, that being said, we seem to be eager to take other undesirables, quote unquote undesirables, that we do not agree with or see as equal unto ourselves for some reason, be it tradition, be it bigotry, be it ignorance, and we claim God makes no mistakes. And yet, while we can look at someone with a disability and say that person is sent by God to teach us a lesson about acceptance, tolerance, and proper Christian behavior, we tend to fail to see this in those who are of another race, of another sexual orientation, of another ethnicity, or of another social standing. We fail to think of the experience of being in that state of being, and therefore we lack the compassion needed for this person, these people, this experience that God has put before us to test our faith, acceptance, tolerance, and good Christian nature. These afflictions can be seen as punishment, and for some, there are those who are still superstitious enough to believe that one who is struck down with a disability, an illness, or another social standing is because of punishment and not because of facing adversity to become stronger within oneself and with others. And we blame the devil for all of it because it is unpleasant to us. It seems many people who claim to be of good Christian faith and good standing like to make things more unpleasant and more difficult for those who are already suffering with what it's like to be different than the norm, be it through social standing, disability, orientation, race, and ethnicity. Leviticus 19:14 says, "Thou shalt not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block before the blind. Thou shalt fear thy Lord your God." Rather than make life more difficult for those who already are facing adversities in their lives, we should trust in God that these people are here for a purpose, just as we feel that with young, disabled children. This is not to make us feel better. This is to show our worth as human beings and prove that other human beings also have worth in the eyes of God and to other people. Any of these people could be Jesus. You don't get to pick and choose which undesirable person gets to be the embodiment of Christ symbolically for one to act kindly towards. Jesus did not identify with these people to seek pity, but understanding and acceptance that these people too are human beings nobody is perfect, and everyone's vice is different, but all are equal into the eyes of the Lord. This isn't even a New Testament concept. All the way back in the beginning of the Bible, we can see examples of this. To paraphrase Exodus 4:11, who is it that gave man a mouth to speak? Who has made him dumb? Who has made him deaf? Who has given him sight, and who has made him blind? Have not I, the Lord, done this? God has made these people. Therefore, even at the most unpleasant, God has not made mistakes. God knows already what a person will choose. This does not excuse sin, but it also shows that humankind cannot define what is sin, what can and cannot be judged by human standards. Yes, there must be law. There must be a system in place for the good of many. It's not that the world is a free-for-all, but that we must show understanding and compassion towards those who are unlike us, those who have made mistakes, those who are afflicted with disabilities, illnesses, those who are born of other orientations, other races, other ethnicities. God has put these people here for a purpose, and the purpose is not always pleasant. Trust me, this is not a pleasant feeling I have right now. But if I didn't suffer through this, I would not have anything to talk about. Granted, this is a very, very minor affliction and very temporary, but it really, really hurts. And I really have no idea what's going on around me right now. And I really, really wish my medication would kick in really soon. I don't want your pity. Life is hard for everybody. Everybody has those moments where they are just not up to par. Sometimes it's very temporary. When this medication kicks in, I'll be fine for a while. Some are longer, such as I am going to be flat broke next month because all the bills are due at once. All the annual bills are due. I will be broke. And money will be extremely tight. And life will be very uncomfortable for me next month. It will pass. But for some, it'll go on for a long time. It's not a matter of simply praying to God and God will immediately make it all better. Sometimes, in order to truly feel compassion for others, you must suffer, sometimes unwillingly, because these people do not always choose the life of suffering for themselves. They do not choose to be poor normally. They do not choose to be another race. They do not choose who they love. They do not choose which country they were born into and raised in. They do not choose the disabilities in which they suffer. I did not choose to have this splitting migraine. I did choose to ask for guidance. What would I talk about today? What would I share with everyone? And God provided. God could have easily just said, hey, wake up. This is what you're going to talk about. But no. It wouldn't have quite the same impact, and I probably would not have listened if I didn't have to suffer a while and experience torture in my head, that I now feel obligated to share this message, that I need the compassion of others